Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Miss Ivy Bryson, we've known her for a couple of years now. She is the owner of Ivy Bryson Consulting. And I thank you for joining us today. Ms. Bryson, can you unmute yourself? Ivy, you on here twice.
Okay, there we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, how are you? Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. The pleasure's all ours. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a brief bio on you, and then we're gonna segue into the business spotlight. All right.
All right, sounds good. Let's do it.
Awesome. Ms. Bryson is an accomplished and respected professional in the field of business development consulting for wealth of experience and expertise, with a strong passion for helping businesses thrive themselves. I believe in her industry. Ms. Bryson is a board member of the National Small Business Association, representing the state of Georgia as an advocate in the Economic Development Committee and Small Business Tech Committee. Ms. Bryson's background is in business management and strategy. Ms. Bryson has worked with numerous organizations across various sectors, ranging from startups to established corporations. Her extensive knowledge in areas of business, corporate structure, asset management, and protection enables her to provide valuable insights and solutions to her clients. Lastly, her business brand, Ivy Bryson Consulting, is a consulting firm that has built a reputation for delivering exceptional outcomes for its various clients. Ivy Bryson Consulting offers a comprehensive range of services, including business structural planning, process optimization, growth analysis, and organizational development. Lastly, Ivy Bryson Consulting approaches consulting in a manner that challenges, scales each business it works with. The firm takes a collaborative and results-oriented approach, working closely with its clients to develop tailored strategies that drive growth, protection, and success. Now that we have your bio spoken of, Ivy, so we're going to go into the portion of the actual interview. Thank you again for joining us and agreeing to be our business spotlight for November. So the first question that I have for you, can you tell us where you're from and a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So I'm born and raised Kenyan. Grew up there, moved to the United States in 2007. So I've been here about 15 years. I guess I can't call Georgia home. As far as schooling goes, I did have all the way through secondary school. I went to school in Kenya, went to college in London, and then shortly after found myself in the United States.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so Ms. Bryson, can you tell us about your business? How did the idea come about into consulting? And what is your what drove you into consulting?
Absolutely. If you'd have told me business consulting is where I would have wound up at, I probably would have laughed. My background is Jambo Sama. Somebody said hello in Swahili. I appreciate that. I started off as a spa business consultant. My background is in the health and wellness space. 2020 happens, and I end up having conversations with people from other different industries. And throughout that whole process, I pretty much very quickly learned that all businesses pretty much run the same way. It's just the specifics as far as the different industries go. As a business owner, I had a business in Kenya, I had a business in London. All of them failed numerously. Biggest lesson was not knowing, not having enough information, and not having anyone to reach out to. So fast forward to coming here to the States, I was fortunate enough to get a group of mentors that mentored me through the ways of the United States. You guys do know the saying, when you go to Rome, do as the Romans do. So I've spent a lot of time investing in different courses, educating myself in different industries, different aspects. And so the birth of structuring and protecting assets and automation, because at the end of the day, I think we're all looking to retire and just enjoy that passive income lifestyle. So I pretty much modeled my whole business in that aspect. Don did mention I am a committee member with the National Small Business Association. That gave me a lot of opportunity to network with multiple businesses, small ones, medium ones, hear what their frustrations are, hear what possible solutions they have, take that, present it to Congress, present it to Senate, advocate for small businesses. And that is essentially how SBA has all the programs that they get to roll out. They're advocated for by the NSBA. So having an opportunity to sit in that space has given me the insight in knowing what small business owners need, and for them to be able to access the kind of resources that this nation offers, you have to be set up in a certain kind of way. So I've taken initiative in partnering and working with small businesses to make sure they have access to resources and all sorts of programs, just like the Fortune 500 do. Long story short.
Thank you. That was a very extensive answer, and I appreciate it. Thank you. You did a great job on that. Awesome.
Good. I feel like I left out a lot, but I know our time here is limited, so I gotta keep it tight a little bit.
No worries, no worries. You're doing fantastic. My next question for you: what are some of the misconceptions about being a business consultant that you'd like to help dispel about your industry and your profession?
The biggest one, to be honest, is a lot of small business owners consider hiring or retaining a business consultant as a luxury expense. Huge misconception. Business consultants pretty much indulge themselves in learning the ins and outs of compliance on federal levels, state levels, bank levels, SBA levels. So a lot of business owners are not privy to that kind of information and don't realize what accessing that kind of information, the kind of impact that it can have on your business. If you don't know what to look out for, you don't know where to look for it. So working with the business consultant not only helps structure your business very well and open up all these opportunities, it is a beautiful tax break. And a lot of people do not realize that. So in a sense, it's not an expense. Any person I work with or sits in front of me, I always go, don't think of it as an expense. Look at it as an investment. However much money you spend on a consultant ends up coming up nothing short of 10x. So I thrive on educating people on the importance of working with a business consultant, because in the long run, it definitely pays itself off.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I got two last for you. This is the first of two. How can we and other members of the community help to support your business? And yeah, that's the question. How can me and my brothers help to support your business? What can we do?
Absolutely. I find the most efficient way is to partner up with companies, with groups, with businesses, and help set up a workshop where we can bring awareness, information, webinars, anything to spread the word out to the people that wouldn't necessarily even know there's such a thing as a business consultant. Awareness leads to knowledge, knowledge leads to power. So any way I can partner up with you guys, be it events, be it workshops we put together, the more the word spreads out there, the more impact we have and the more powerful we can become as a community. That I couldn't think of a better way to do it.
Awesome. All right, this is my last question for you. So my last question is really a shameless plug. It's an opportunity for you to provide to us with your social media, your website, any specials you may be having going on right now. Is there anything else you would like to convey to us?
Okay, absolutely. So all my platforms, I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook. That would be at Ivy Bryson Consulting. My website would be www.ivybrysonconsulting.com. As far as cellular or telecommunication, the numbers that are on my website, those go to my assistant that I work with. For the sole purpose of this call, I did provide my personal cell phone number to Don, and he has my absolute permission to go on and share it with you guys. I think this is a more personal setting, so I'm very comfortable doing that. If anybody wanted to take it down, it is 404-702-8548. And if you find email works best for you, that would be Ivy. That's IVY at ivybrisonconsulting.com. I will personally respond to your emails. I do ask that if you do call, a lot of times when I'm in sessions with clients, just out of respect, I do not answer my phone or respond to text messages. So I would just ask that you be patient with me, leave me a short message, and I will definitely get back.
Awesome, fantastic. I think you've done a fantastic answer the question. So we're going to segue now to the Q&A portion. And
Absolutely.
if anybody's having a question for Ms. Bryson, please raise your hand in the chat. I'm looking to see if you have a question, or you put in the comments. And Ms. Bryson, I know she'll be graciously enough to answer any questions you guys may have.
Let's do it.
So I did see I think that's Brother Gardner. I think I saw you unmute. Brother Gardner, do you have a question for Ms. Bryson? Also, okay, I'm not seeing any brothers have any questions for Ms. Bryson at this moment. So, anybody in the room have a question for her? All right. All right,
I think I see one. What should you look for when selecting a consultant? That is a very good question. Thank you for asking that. Number one, you definitely want to look for somebody that has resources, informative in different areas, different aspects of different industries. I find that if you work with somebody that, say for instance, consults specifically with the real estate people, and maybe you're in the private car rental or you're in the food and beverage space, the information provided might be a little bit limited. It can be helpful to a certain extent, but you definitely want to look for somebody that's diversified with different industries. You definitely want to work with somebody that has access to resources that you might not have or might want to change. Case in point, let's say if we're talking about your tax situation, your corporate tax situation, or your personal tax situation, you want to work with a consultant that knows what to look for when it comes to tax codes, that understands that space, and also has resources, partnerships, affiliates, to where if they can't provide the service for you, they're not just gonna turn you away and just go, oh, well, this is what you need, I can't help you from there. You want to work with somebody that can go, hey, I might not be able to do this for you, but I do have somebody I can send you to. And the most important part, it shouldn't be just a hand-off kind of situation. They should be able to walk that process with you and work with that person, mainly for your own comfort, for your own reassurance, just knowing you've not just gone thrown to the dogs. So you definitely want to work with somebody that's very personable, and available to you as needed. Absolutely.
All right, I got one more question for you.
Okay.
Brother Marshall, it's not in the comment section. He's actually, so we have a hybrid setting. We have brothers virtually, and we have brothers in person where I am right now. So
okay.
he's located in the same location I'm at right now. His name is Brother Rashid Marshall.
Okay. Hi.
My information is very informative. I had a quick question. So I also do financial consulting services. And often what I find is people try to basically dump everything financial into one contract or one major crime. How do you recommend handling scope becomes an issue? For instance, I just recently did a project where we started off with one thing and we agreed upon with certain local hours. And then I'm being asked and expected to do above and beyond that. How do you handle it?
I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you to repeat yourself a little bit, only because it's breaking off a little bit and I want to make sure I understand your question clearly. Please, if you don't mind.
Yes, so the question is, how do you typically handle, or how would you recommend someone handling scope creep? Typically when I'm working projects with a prime and consulting engagements, I start off with one particular set of services, and we agree upon a certain billable rate. But then I often find that other financial services end up getting thrown into the responsibilities, and I end up pulling either other individuals or within my network into the engagement and having to pay them on the side out of what I get paid, or we have to go back to the table. How do you handle scope?
Okay. It would be, you might want to start with maybe the terms that are in. Okay, let me make sure I'm understanding this. You're running into a situation where you have one agreement to work on a certain project with somebody, and then halfway down the line, you end up needing to outsource resources. It's not clearly communicated, or it's not completely understood between the two parties. So sometimes you end up having to utilize your own resources and coming out of pocket on their behalf. So you're asking how to go on about managing that. Did I understand correct?
But also the requirements have changed in the duration of the project. He said that basically the original scope has changed, so they've added requirements. So he's saying, oh, what would be the best way to handle that?
Yes.
The first thing you want to make sure you do when you're sitting down with them, after I'm assuming you've ran a complete business analysis and prospected possible outcomes, and as a consultant you would have an idea of what might pop out. So you want to just not verbally communicate it, but make sure you have it in contract. Should anything change, how are we going to go on about that? And then make sure it's a clause within your contract, so when they're agreeing to it, it's a no shocker, and there's no back and forth. You kind of already know how to proceed moving forward. For example, I understand what you're saying, because I do run into situations like that a lot. I'll have a client explain what's going on with them, give me the scope of what's going on. And then when we get down to the nitty gritty, I end up discovering, oh my God, we do need so much more. So what I do have in my contract is a clause that states any expenses that might occur within the term of this contract, they are responsible for. Now, upon agreement, I can take on that tab, invoice them, and then they would reimburse me. So we do have that understanding right from get-go. So maybe take that angle if it's making sense. I'm hoping it's making sense.
It's making sense. Ultimately, the goal is,
Yeah, because things do change. So there's never a situation where you're going to have everything in black and white and it stays that way the entirety of the contract term. Things are going to change. The world changes on a day-to-day. So the main important thing is communicating what happens and how do we proceed should that change come about. Once you're at that understanding with the other party, the transition ends up being pretty smooth. And I found that in my experience.
Thank you, Ms. Bryson. That's all questions that we have for you right now. We do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy your Sunday on this November. I know it's right before Thanksgiving as well. We definitely appreciate you. I'm sure some of our brothers will reach out to you for your services, and I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. I've studied a little bit on what you guys have going on. I appreciate what you're doing for the community. Wish you guys and your families all the best, your businesses, all the best. Happy holidays. And my Black brothers, please be safe out there.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.